Chapter 28, The Golden Hoard. I sat on my bed surrounded by books. I stacked them by size, then stacked them alphabetically, then stacked them by books I'd read and books I hadn't read. I loved the weight of them, the feel of them, especially the hardback books with the clear plastic coating that crinkled and crackled as you opened the book. Some of them were old, older even than I was. Some of them were brand new, and all of them had been banned. It was a treasure trove, these stacks, and suddenly I had the idea that I was Smog the Dragon sitting on my piles of gold and jewels, and I would do anything to keep that hobbit and those dwarves from taking them back. How had I not seen the books as treasure before? I loved books. I couldn't imagine living without them. But I had never seen each book as such a valuable thing before. Even the books I wasn't interested in reading were like gold. It didn't matter what was inside them. One man's junk was another man's treasure, as my grandmother always said. The same thing was true with books. One person's Captain Underpants was another person's from the mixed-up files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler. I didn't have time to sit around thinking about it for too long, though. The house was quiet. Beautifully, unbelievably quiet, but it wouldn't last. Mom was in the kitchen on her laptop. Angelina was at Gymboree, running around like a racehorse, and Alexis was at ballet. In an hour, Dad would bring them home, and it would be chaos again. Even the dogs were quiet, curled up and sacked out on Alexis's bed. For the next few minutes, my world was all mine, and I had work to do. Work I didn't want anyone else to see me doing. Some of the books were new enough that they needed card slots pasted into the back. Some of them already had envelopes, and all I had to do was take out the old Shelbourne Elementary Library due date card and replace it with one of mine. The old cards were fun to look at. I loved the typewriter font at the top, listing the title and author and the long list of scribbled signatures with red due dates stamped beside them. Sometimes you'd see the same name over and over again. I imagined what the card from the mixed-up files of Mrs. Basil E. Frankweiler would look like if they still checked out books like that today. My name would be in every slot and onto the back by now. One girl had checked out Harriet the Spy 3 times. I saw her name again on the Matilda card. If I had gone to Shelbourne Elementary in 1985, she and I might be friends. I pulled the card out of the next book and skimmed down it, looking for a familiar name. And then I saw it. A very familiar name. Was it? No. Could it? No, it couldn't be. But the more I stared at it, the more I thought, it has to be. That card was a keeper.